Welcome back to the Weekend Warriors Show Recap Podcast. I'm Ty from the Unemployed Architects. So this last weekend I had 3 shows. I had Clark Bar in Champaign. I had Farmers Market, Bloomington Farmers Market, which was indoor. That would have been Saturday morning. And then Saturday night I played at Door 4 Brewing. So those were the 3 different ones for this weekend. And the Champaign one, Clark Bar, went okay. We got good reactions from the crowd, so I was very thankful for that. And it just didn't sound very good, honestly. I don't know. It was my fault. I got there a little late, and I was setting up and kind of rushing it essentially. And I had one setting that just wasn't what it should have been set at, and of course that plagued me the whole evening. But you just kind of do what you can in that situation. It's sometimes it's tough to do your sound and perform, as one thing. And Dave came to this show, so more noise essentially. But it was. I mean, for what it was, we had fun. It was enjoyable. And hopefully we were entertaining enough to keep the crowd kind of engaged. It didn't really get busy till the very end of our set, which is pretty standard over there because they do like a 6:30 to 9:30, which is probably, not the blame, but it's probably why I was a little late. It's because it's a little early. Sometimes I just have too many things planned in a day, and I just cannot get out of the door early enough. But shows were good. Show was good. It wasn't exactly what I was hoping for, but yeah, it is what it is. And good reaction from the crowd, so can't complain. It was just really loud too. That was the other thing. The cymbals were on another level for sure. And then so Saturday morning I played at the Bloomington Farmers Market, and this was like a really fun show. This was maybe my favorite of the weekend, which usually isn't the case with the farmers markets because they're early in the morning, so it's really hard to kind of get the vocals warmed up and everything. But I did the foot drums, which I don't normally do, and I don't know if that helped warm me up a little bit, and I was a little warmed up from last night. And then I think the factor on top of that was I wasn't having, it was completely unplugged, so it was acoustic, so I just played and sang, and that's how I practiced a lot of the time. And there was nothing in the middle, nothing, because sometimes you get caught up in the medium, like the doing sound and how it's coming out. And part of me still thinks it's probably just me, but I feel like I'm a little unnatural through a mic. I don't sing the same, and I don't know if that's standard or not. Like, you don't sing the same way through a mic that you would sing just acoustically. And it's not to say I haven't had really good shows where I'm singing through a mic. I've had plenty of those, but every so often you'll just have like an off night, and maybe it's just me as a singer, or maybe it's the sound's a little weird and you're just kind of struggling all night. And my theory with that has always been just do whatever you can that night to sound good. I don't know if that's the right, because I end up and get like different vocal tones, and I'm singing different spots kind of in my head, or in my chest, or in my belly, but I want to sing in key, so that's the reason I'm there ultimately. So I always think that's kind of the most important part of it, but really, who knows? I don't know if that's the right method, if I should really just like collect myself and work on good form. But I think adaptability is what I'm talking about. It's like being able to adapt to your body not producing the sounds you want it, and also to the sound system of the night might not be working for you. So, but anyway, what I was trying to, I know I got off topic there, but what I was trying to say is the Saturday morning show. And I don't know if maybe the coffee house shows have been kind of warming me up or getting me used to singing kind of earlier in the morning. And this was extra. It was 9:30 to 11:30, which I'm pretty used to. It's nice that there's no load in really, besides, I had a few things. I did the foot percussion, like I said, it's a little extra, but I probably took 10 minutes to get everything kind of set up and where it needed to be. And I just felt a lot more free that night, or that morning. It was, I wasn't having to try so hard. And didn't have another musician either, so obviously that makes it a little easier. And it just sounds how it sounds. And I'm used to that. But, so, that was fun. And then I was kind of thinking, a lot of times when that happens, I think, I'm going to be so, warmed up for the next show. And then it doesn't go that way. So, this time it kind of did. So, I was kind of expecting it to go the other way. And I did a very minimal setup, so I think sometimes the more stuff you set up, the more things you have to get in the way. And so I was like, okay, well, I had so much fun this morning. Let's just do as simple as possible. And it was a really good time. I played some weird ones, which maybe shouldn't have, but I was in the mood, I guess. And I had a couple friends come out, the Tabs, which I've talked about them probably plenty before, but they're good friends and just they're fans of what I do and appreciate it. And I don't know that I have too many people like that, but when they come, it just feels like they're on my team. They're rooting for me, and they kind of bring out the best in me in a lot of ways. And also, they make me feel like I can take a risk sometimes that I might not normally do. But the thing with the Door 4 Brewing shows is they've been pretty slow the whole summer, or the whole winter. So even the New Year's Eve one, which I talked about, it being earlier in the night, 7 to 9, instead of, a lot of times on New Year's you play from whatever to midnight or whatever to 1, and you take a break at midnight to kind of cheers and all that stuff. So it was about as busy as it was in New Year's, maybe a little bit more busy. And it was just great. It was a good show, very delightful. Good, probably 5 tables throughout the night that were 2 or more, and they were kind of hanging on every word. I've said this a bunch of times, but I'd rather play for 10 people that are super attentive and into it than 200 people that aren't paying attention. Because I don't know. I think some people veer the other way, and I don't mind the other way. I've played plenty of shows where I'm just background music and whatnot, and you can it's a different kind of show. It's like you can kind of experiment more and try some weirder stuff, or just, kind of lay low. Just, you're collecting a paycheck, sometimes that's good too. So this is actually my 3rd attempt at recording this podcast, and that's because I was wanting to talk about something. I'm not really sure how to talk about it. So what I've decided to do is not use anyone's name, and I'm going to pretend like it happened a long time ago, I guess. So, far away, long ago in a galaxy far away, I guess. We'll call the person Tim, or Mike. Let's do Mike. Played with a guy named Mike, and awesome. He was an awesome musician. Very, very cool. Easy to work with. Always easy about money. Always easy about, pretty much anything. Just showing up and being a delight. And at a certain point, this Mike character starts telling... Well, he has kind of he changes. I don't know how else to say it. He changes his mentality, and I don't think it's his fault at all. And I he's still one of my good friends. And way back then, his mentality changed a little bit, and he but just got, well, A, he couldn't remember things very good. His short-term memory kind of just disappeared. And B, he started saying things that weren't really true. Just kind of making things up about things. And then, the third and maybe the nail in the coffin would be that he was saying the band name with a bunch of really other negative things and weird things and wild things. And so, the first time this happens, I am a little upset, rightfully, I think, because I get a message from a lady about, how terrible this Mike character is and all that. And, it was like 5-page Facebook message about how if it was up to this person, they'd never let us play in this town again. And anyway, so that was not good. So we took a little bit of a hiatus. Then we few months went by. Mike seemed a little bit more coherent, a little bit more back to his old self. And so we played another show just to kind of try it out. Did not go well. It went very... he was just like annoyed the whole time. Kind of couldn't stay on stage. And I got messages from the venue after that said that they were a little bit... or he was a little bit rude and too wild for the venue, and said that they would never book us again. So that was, another thing that happened that wasn't... definitely not ideal. And then so eventually, a few months go by again. Seems a little bit more normal. I need a 3-piece, so I ask him if he wants to do it. And maybe this is my mistake. And the show goes well, honestly. Supposed to be a 4-piece set, just ended up being a couple. And it went really good. And again, this happened a long time ago. So then me and Mike were talking, and he was saying, I'd like to do more shows if possible. And I was like, yeah, that'd be cool. I'm all about it. Let's try it. And we did one, and it was like next level not great. It was like, because usually when Mike would get like that, the playing wouldn't suffer. It would be still play well, but it and this whole time, I mean, I really am not trying to say anything negative. I'm not trying to be a negative guy, but it's more, all of this is more of a question. Like, what am I supposed to, what could I have done better in this situation? How could I, what's the right way to respond? So this has been on my mind lately, I guess, since it happened so long ago, but it just popped back in there. And so I don't know, the show just goes terribly, really. Luckily, it was a crowd that didn't mind, and a bar that wasn't super not into it. They were kind of that kind of crowd. And then the next week, this person does pretty much the same thing that did it the first thing, except to a guy in the town that we were in. And so I'm getting messages from this guy, like, does this guy really represent you? Does he? And I mean, I gotta say no. I can't. I'm burning bridges that I didn't even know were there. I didn't have really any connection to this fella, and I just like, what do you do in this situation? I mean, that would be strike 3 or 4 at this point. I feel like I had done the right thing and just distanced myself as much as possible. But again, this was a good friend of mine, and he was going through a lot at the time, and again, I just don't really know what the right answer is. If anybody has any ideas what I should have done, or what if something like that ever happened again, what I should do. Because, I want to be a friend to the person, and if there was a way that I could have him play with me, but, this is making the name look bad 4 or 5 times, probably, in the scheme of things, and I don't know. And it's not like I disagree with everything he's saying all the time, but I'm not a big fan of posting it places or, putting it out there too much. And there's a lot of other wild stuff that he would have said back then that just was not blatantly not true, and I don't know. Anyway, so that's my little rant, and my question is, what is the right response to something like that? Just my thinking then was I would just put a lot of distance in it. That's all I could have really done was just, separate myself from it, because ultimately I'm trying to do, I'm trying to do music, trying to be sustainable, and if I have, a bunch of roadblocks in the way, I need to go another direction, or I need to figure something else out. So anyway, so that was again a rant from a long time ago that I've been needing to get off my chest. And anyway, so anybody has any ideas, please let me know what I should be doing. This coming week I just have a couple of shows. I picked up a show at the stable for the month of February for Tuesday nights, so I'll have that the next Tuesday, and then on Friday I'm up in DeKalb at a place called Stage Left, and that was booked through a booking company. A little side note here, there's another thing I would be interested to hear if anybody had any different directions other than the ones I went by. So I had a contract to play a show up north and in DeKalb, and through a booking company. And then the week of that show, I got a call to open for Tim Reynolds, which I'm a big fan of. I like Tim Reynolds a lot. And he was playing at the Castle here in town. Haven't played in the Castle in a really long time. And it would have been very cool for me to be able to say that, and to be able to do that, and be in front of a big audience and hopefully sound good and all that. But I had to turn the show down. I had a contract at another place, and I don't know. I've talked to a few people in person about this, and a few of them think that I should have just bailed on the show up north and just did the opening spot. My thinking is I should do the right business move would be to stay true to my word and do the less amazing show, and maybe these people would book me again. It would be a better long term, and even the people that maybe don't, or I had to turn down, the people I had to turn down, maybe they would even note that, because I'm turning it down because I had another show and I had a contract for this show, that they'd be like, oh, well, that sucks. Obviously, we wish he could do it, but at least, he's honest and good to his word, and if we have something scheduled with him, he's not going to flake on it. But maybe it was a missed opportunity at some point. So I don't know. I don't know what the right answer would be on that. But if you have any ideas, please feel free to hit me up about it. I mean, I'm doing the shows Friday in DeKalb. There's no question about it. But if you think that's the wrong decision, I'd be interested to hear why, I guess, and what you have, what brought you to that conclusion. But maybe it's just, you only live once, so I'm going to do cool stuff. But I don't know. Anyway, so that's all I got for this week. Appreciate anybody who takes the time to listen. Remember that story I told that happened a long time ago, and don't think too hard about it. And anyway, appreciate anybody who takes the time to listen, and I will talk to you next time. Have a good one. All right, bye.